And today we are happy hosting Dr. Gabriela Gomez-Gonzalez. Dr. Gomez, welcome for being here. Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thank you so much to you, Alejandra. It's a pleasure to me having me today. It's really an honor to inaugurate this important initiative to make sound and make loud, speak these voices about the minorities in science.
Fantastic. So I'm going to introduce you a bit. I'm going to talk about you. So Dr. Gomez, she's a Mexican and now is working in Italy. Right?
Yes.
So she is in the laboratory of physiopathology of neural stem cells. And the PI is Dr. Annalisa Buffo. And this laboratory is in the Neuroscience Institute Cavalieri Ottolenghi. Yes. So I have to mention that Dr. Gomez had been there, but it was a part of a international competition. So she was presenting her project, and there were international people applying for this position, and she got it. So we are very proud of you, and that you are there, and you are doing a great research. So Dr. Gomez, she did her bachelor degree in biology in Mexico, in the Biological Science School in Morelos, Mexico. Then she did her Master in Science in Neurobiology, and then her PhD in Biomedical Science in the Neurobiology Institute in UNAM, National University of Mexico. And here I want to highlight that this institute is a leader in neuroscience in Mexico, and I want to highlight that because I want to mention that this institute has more than 60 neuroscientists working all to solve specific questions in neuroscience and different subdisciplines in neuroscience. So I'm pretty sure that that experience that you got there made you possible to be prepared to get the place you are.
For sure.
Dr. Gomez has published in different journals, recognized journals. One of them is Nature, and Frontiers in Cellular Neuroscience. And she has had international outreach and participation. I had to mention too that she has some experience abroad during her graduate studies. She did an internship in Germany too. So she was in the Clinical University of Regensburg, in the Department of Psychiatry and Psychotherapy. So she was very interested in the effects of antidepressant in the glial cells in the brain.
Yes.
So then she was also invited to join the TUFTS Medical Center in Boston.
Yes.
She was working there in the endocrinology, diabetes, and metabolism field. Then she also had a long list, but I'm going to mention just some of them, of training abroad too. One of them is the courses in advanced optical microscopy and transmission electron microscopy. She traveled to Latin America. I mean, more to the bottom,
even in the south, yes.
She went to Santiago de Chile, where she did an internship, and she was in the Neuroscience Research Institute in the University of Chile. And she has presented recently her work in Pisa in Italy and in Rome. So I think I don't have more than to tell you welcome to this site, and why don't you tell us about your research? If you can summarize for us something that you want to share to us.
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for having me, and again, once more for this opportunity at this table to speak about a little of the research that I have been doing, and I have to say that I was the pleasure to work with for many years with Alejandra. We were together, and we were really excited about some of the discoveries that we did in that times, in that period of in the initial part of our research. And I'm glad to say that we were really lucky and really prestigious to have. I mean, we have the honor, even in this century, to found new cells or new nest of cells in the roof of the foreventricle. And I think this is a pleasure that we have to even name some of these peculiar cells of cluster or organization of cells. And I think I can say that I started my journey with these publications. And before that, I was working a lot with the theory H and the endocrinology system. That's why I went to Tufts University, which was one of my first experience abroad, and I think it was the one that changed my mind and made me believe in which the opportunity to be outside. And I have to thank Edith Sanchez, who is who was in that time my mentor, and she pushed me a lot to believe in myself. And I think it was the starting from everything. After that, I have the opportunity as well, pushing by you, to introduce myself in the microscopy field, either confocal or TAM. And in that sense, after that, we start as well to do some research regarding to the connections around this cerebral part. And I have to say that we have making a lot of effort to understand a particular region in the roof of the cerebellum, to understand what is the different physiology of all these really interesting population of cells that were not described until recently by us, including her. And then I was focused and was interested in the neuronal part, component part. And we discovered as well that this part on the deep cerebellar nucleus are really interconnected and are interconnected in a way that was not mentioned before, which was kind of surprisingly, and it was difficult to publish, I have to say. Because sometimes science is like always going in one direction, and when you try to say maybe there is another way, maybe the physiology or the biology is telling us another thing, even when I think this part is what came a little the part of where your nationality makes some impact even in your research, and you see it even when you try to publish. But well, regarding these kind of issues, we were able to publish this work, and later I decided to move a little in another field. In this time, the field of the IAPCs, which is the pluripotential cells. In this case, I made this jump, and I decided to go to Italy and pursue this postdoc, because I'm now interested in a more applied science, and I'm trying to combine my previous knowledge with this opportunity to develop new therapies or new cell therapies to try that are aimed to, in a future, possibly near future, to improve the health of people that are suffering different diseases like Huntington disease or Parkinson disease. So now currently I'm working, and we are trying to establish the anatomical, but as well the physiological connectivity of human engrafted cells in a model of Huntington disease in rats. So this is in a sharp way the journey that I have been following. And I have to say that in the middle of my career, I have been always focused, as you mentioned, in the function of the glial cells. I always have been really, I don't know, seduced by the glial cells, and together with the group in Mexico, we were able to, as well, to describe some of the glial cells and the physiology of the Berman glia in the zebrafish. So this is the resume of some of the findings that I have done together, always with our group, in the different institutes.
Well, great, thank you very much. It was, I had to say, it's very admirable what you have done, and you have your spirit that you have to keep going. While we know that there are very difficult sometimes, and as you said, sometimes there are barriers that prevent you to move forward. However, you have been there, and you are now pursuing a great research, and we are very proud of you. So I wanted to mention regarding this barriers, if you can mention, or actually if you can, in the context that we are in this site, you can share with us what diversity and inclusion means for you. This because I think this is very important to start working in inclusion in science and make this contribution that certainly you are doing now.
Thank you. Yes, I think to me this diversity and inclusion means I think it should be that actually we shouldn't ask for it. I think it's something that is natural as life, and it depends of respect, of the tolerance, and it's a right, it's a human right. So to me, it's really, I think I cannot believe that even in science we need to fight for it, because it's supposed that we should be more open mind, and we should be due to all the job that we have pursued, not just in general on a technical way, but as well I think in the way of thinking. I will expect that even this kind of problems, social problems, will impact less in our field, but fortunately it's not like that. So to me, it's like it's part of the respect, it's a tolerance, and I think it's this diversity is the life itself, because if you see at the nature, you will see that the life evolves and the life is preserves around the time because of the diversity. And we as biologists, we know that diversity is the thing that makes evolution, and it's the characteristic that makes that life continue until now. So it's the same with the human people. This minority, sorry, that now we call it like this. It's part of this heterogeneous biological diversity. So it shouldn't be a problem. Actually, it is part of the you know, all the capabilities of the life itself. So I think it's a human right, and I think it shouldn't be a problem. Actually, it's an advantage for life itself. Mm-hmm.
You know, I love what you said, that you mentioned in biology, the very basic in biology. It says diversity makes survival.
Yeah, right? Make evolution is the driving force of the evolution. If there were not the diversity, we will not evolve. So diversity is necessary.
From the ecosystems.
Exactly.
We see that.
Mm-hmm.
Great, amazing. So, and with this, I wanted to ask you, have you had any challenge that you want to share with us? Any challenge to be included in the scientific community? And how that have impacted in your professional development? Any experience that you want to share with us?
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, I have. I have to say that in a period at the beginning, maybe you don't realize, but in some point, I have to mention in some point when I start to pursue the PhD abroad, my first attempt, like really be enrolled for complete degree in outside, and I had this bad experience in which even if I had the score and under the own laws of to admit a new or to enroll new people, I was really in the higher score. And even if I was accomplished with these skills, they decide, just because I was Mexican and because I didn't get the master degree in Europe, they decided that they want to make a special exam, a special test to me. And this test was regarding to knowledge that people in Germany were having during the bachelor even. So they were like, okay, you need to prove us that you have the basic knowledge to be here as a PhD, but it was not required to all of us. They was required just for the one that came from America. This in a region, this thing different from USA or Canada. So I have to say that it happened to me, and it was really a pity, and I was so. It was an offense as well. So it was discrimination itself, because I couldn't manage that. It was really frustrating for me in that time, because I was nothing of that was required for my application before. And once that I was there with the position, because I won the position, they decide just by chance that they want to do this. So to me, these kind of things that happen are not tolerable enough. And so I decide to go back, and I say I cannot stand this, because it is against my nature. It is against science. It's against the thinking, the way of thinking that we are pursuing, and the way of thinking that we are fighting for. Because I think at the end, as my mom always said, the education is always reflected in a change of the way of thinking.
Of course.
So it doesn't matter if you have a postdoc or 3 postdoc of 20 PhD, if you don't reflect this change in your way of thinking, you are not learning anything at all. So I think this is one of the most frustrating and most thought experience that I have experienced during this path. Fortunately, I think now I have seen that there is a big effort to try to include people, but of course this is a process, no? But it was my experience, yes. Besides the one that of the journal that was like, but I think it could be because of the science, and that's fine. It's fine. But when it's related with your nation or with the place in which you got a degree, it shouldn't be like that. I think so.
Well, that was a very unfortunate situation, and I have to say that's a very sad situation, that having the training, having the capability that you have, and being that obvious that you got the position, that they had this kind of drawbacks, right?
Exactly.
That is very unfortunate. So I hope people that is looking at this video, that they realize this and raise awareness of the situations that, as you mentioned at some point you feel like it's very natural, but that's very sad that you start getting used to that, and that's not good.
Exactly.
You don't have to get used to that.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing that experience. That's very important for the community. And I would like to know if you can, what can you tell to the scientific community regarding minority, and how can you motivate the new generations to pursue a career in science? Because new generations, I have noticed sometimes that they are kind of with fears on how to go and face this kind of situations, or even with the language. I know many countries, including our country, many groups are not learning the English from the basic schools. So that shouldn't be a barrier. So if you can just share with us, what can you tell to the scientific community regarding minority?
I think I have to say that, as I mentioned before, unfortunately, science is not an option. It's not exception about this the presence of these let's say kind of I don't know how to say that these I forgot the word, but this discrimination, kind of discrimination. Unfortunately, it's present, and you have to be aware. Segregation. So it's present, and it's something that you have to be aware. But this is important that you know that, because then you go prepared, more or less, and you know what you are faced to. And I think for sure language will be always a criteria. But as well, I have to say that for the young people, that you don't need to be afraid. And of course you will be, because it's part of the nature, and but you have to go beyond that afraid. Otherwise, you don't arrive to anywhere, any place or any spot that you really want to pursue. So I think that even with this fear, you need to work with it and go for what you want. And I want to say something that another of really nice experience that I have had in Mexico, even if it is a nation that many consider as on you know, that it is on how to say, it's not a really the highest how to say, I've forgotten, I have here undeveloped nation. I have to say that I had a lot of good experience and the possibility to talk with many leaders around the world, and because they were in Mexico. And also, I think this is something that when I mentioned, all people get kind of fascinated, and they say, okay, I don't know, Ketterman, Bruce, many these big names, and we have Alvarez Bulla. We have all of these names, and we were really, as you can confirm, we were so proud to have the opportunity to talk with them. But this is, I just go back to the main idea that says, if you don't hit high, you don't get high. And I always keep in mind this sentence and this phrase. And I say this to the young people: you have to hit high, otherwise you never. And it doesn't matter, just keep trying, just keep trying. And even we can see now in the social media this nice news about this Mexican American girl that is now in the space. So this is just one of the different, and those and the millions of examples that of America, the Latin, and the other, you know, these people that is underrepresented, yeah, people that is getting high and it is achieving this high. So please keep it doing. Of course, there is not an easy way. It's not an easy journey, but nothing is easy. And at the end, you will have a joy because you try it and you are doing your best. So please, not because of the fear, you never stop. I mean, don't let the fear stop you. I think this is the thing that I can say, and remember that you need to trust on you all the time. It doesn't matter what others say, you need to trust on you, no? And it's not easy, but keep it doing.
Well, this is very inspiring what you are sharing with us, and thank you for sharing your experience. I'm sure this is gonna get to many places, to many people, young generations, and we need to pull them to so they have more tools that we had in the past.
Yes.
And
sure.
then, so I feel very grateful with you, and I have to say that I'm very proud of you in the name of minorities. And thank you. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
No, just to thank you really for this opportunity, and let's make noise.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Gomez.
Thank you so much.
And it was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.